Hey everyone, I'm Aiden Walls. I'm finally back for another video. My channel is dedicated to retro gaming and retro handhelds, so if that's something you're into, please consider subscribing. I'm going to get right into it. The guy who made better buttons sent me one of these. He sent it to me for free and it just took so long in the post, so I'm jumping right into this video. I just got back from the post office and I'm going to unwrap this thing and I'm going to install it. It took so long in the post, his little slip has actually faded. It says, "Thank you for getting better." It's got a picture of all the things that I should have, and it's got a QR code to the installation guide. So let's have a look at the package. This is a little box that you get nuts and bolts in usually. Open it. Comes with this little guitar pick to pry open your device, and then obviously the buttons. So it's nice that it comes in this because all I got it posted in is this, and you know, postal services, what they are, could have gotten squashed, but they aren't squashed. You can see have been. So when I found this on Thingiverse, I realized you're going to need a really high quality 3D printer to make this. So he's obviously either done it himself or had it done, but he's had it done in sort of a velvety finish, which is quite nice. I can compare it to sort of brushed metal, but this is plastic obviously, but it's got a lovely velvet feeling to the touch. You know, which just adds to it feeling, even though it's made by an Etsy seller, makes it feel really pro and, you know, from a proper, decent factory. So anyway, that looks really, we've got R, R1, and R2, and then we've got L, L1, and then L2. So these obviously need to be installed into the back of our RG35XX. So let's quickly open the RG35XX. So what you want to do is get the guitar pick in there. There we go. Just need to get a little edge in somewhere. And then, as I recall, so the battery is actually attached to the back here. So I also need to make sure I'm not switching it on. Again, I just got to be careful here. So just pry this open a little bit. There we go. Okay, just slide that in. Okay, so the battery is attached, so you got to be very careful there. And what you can do, again, you can use a guitar pick or just use your fingernails, but just be very careful. This little plug, these little electronic plugs, just be very careful with them. Pry it off. So just be very careful there. I was quite gentle with my pliers, but that for some reason was a bit more difficult this time. Maybe I just pushed it in more firmly than the factory did. Again, I just want to stress, be very careful when unplugging this because I was actually a bit nervous that I had damaged it. So just get something to grip this. Don't grip it by the wire. Get something to grip this little plug and then pull it out. Okay, all right, so now we're gonna, I did a little mod in my previous video to make the buttons quiet. I put a bit of electrical tape, which you can do this. So this is I'm actually gonna leave this tape here. I'm gonna put it on afterwards because this stops the buttons from making a lot of noise. So I'm gonna keep that aside. It's a bit of a messy solution. I showed a friend and he said, "Oh, that's not very good from the factory." But you can always make this tape a little bit thinner, you know, get a little bit more particular than I am. And then the next thing you will need is a small star screwdriver. So we get that out there. So there's two little screws holding these little plastic stoppers. And then these little stoppers should just come out nicely. They have two plastic pins that guide them into position, and then the slot is facing upwards, so we just need to remember that. I'm just going to put them in position over there. So the buttons come out that way. They're going to come out this side here. So I'm just pushing them and then there. Okay, so what I did just to get that motion, get a bit of pressure here to push them out, and then use the guitar pick to just get it going the rest of the way. And then it comes out. So that's the easiest way to do that. So here, push it in, take the pick, and then it clips out really easily. So let's get the L1 and L2 buttons in here. So that's L1. So we go in the back, through, and then we clip in the little clip here. And that should just clip in by hand. Let's just give it a little press. There we go. And then the L2, yep. So L2 in the back, through, and then just press it into that little clip there. So that's L1 and L2. Now we do R1 and R2. So again, just press it and pry just ever so slightly there. I'm just giving these a little bit of pressure just to make sure that they have indeed gone into position, because I don't know, it just doesn't feel like it's, anyway, it is kind of popping out. It's not very, very secure. Like these, I've got to give it a bit of effort to get it out, you know. Okay, let's go with R1. R1 in there. Just give it a bit of a push. Yeah, so you see my ones, there's no clip here. These little rods here aren't clipping into position, which can be a problem. But I think as a fail-safe, what I'm going to do is keep my electrical tape concept. So again, in my other video, I recommended this is not to make the pieces of tapes as big as I've made them. Make bigger pieces, thinner pieces of tape, and just get it over this section. And then you are going to be both securing these new buttons and making them silent, because they do rattle in the box, in the chassis of the device. And so I do just recommend having something here to keep these from rattling. So now you know you're killing two birds with one stone. There's a bit of a flaw there, not a flaw, like it's not really a flaw. Okay, so what this is doing is stopping the buttons from kind of flying out the device. So we go in there. We want these little notches to be under and there. So now there, slide these notches under, and then line. So you slide these parts under there, and then line this part up with the pins. And then we gonna put these screws back. Okay, everything's looking good. So the whole idea of these is that they're more comfortable to use. So, I mean, already, so okay, I'll kind of analyze it now once we put everything back together. Okay, so when we want to get everything back together, we plug the battery back in. Got to be so careful with this. Okay, I'm going to start like that there. Okay. Got it started, and then I'm going to push it the rest of the way with the pliers. There we go. There we go. Nice. Okay. Now again, just be careful not to crimp any wires when you're closing this up. Okay, everything should just click back into place. There we go. All right, let's get those screws out. Okay, so let's test it out. Okay, so Tony Hawk Pro Skater. So when I jump, I press L1, just flip around. It feels really nice. So before, the buttons did feel awkward. And I mean, this is not, you know, this is not going to win any awards on ergonomics. It's a vertical device. The thing about it is, your finger is now curving along this line. So it's a far more comfortable feeling. Like, it's really well designed for something that's on an Etsy store. This is incredibly well designed. Like, you know, if Anbernic had come up with this, I would have said, sure, you know, well done. So for someone who is just working from their home, designing stuff for Thingiverse, and now found a way to print this, this Better Buttons guy really knows his stuff. When your finger is here, there's a top, almost feels like a top button, and there, so you can actually have your finger like that. kind of just rocking between. So now, if I want to switch around, there we go. So I wish I had a camera underneath now. But now I'm not moving my fingers around. So let me go here, turn around, yep. To turn, all I did was lean my finger onto that button. I didn't move my finger, which you definitely had to do with the other ones because you would run the risk of pressing the wrong button. Okay, so the beauty of the ergonomics with this is that you find a position that's comfortable, you curl your fingers around this comfortable position, and you don't have to do anything after that. You don't have to do that. You just go press, there I'm pressing L1, R1, there I'm pressing R2. So that becomes your new gaming position. So you curl your fingers around and you just kind of hug the device and play. So that is the beauty of this. And it really does change the ergonomics of the device quite considerably. So I can highly recommend these Beta buttons. I'm so glad that I finally got them and that I can say thumbs up to the Beta buttons. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.